channel. For those of you just joining us, my name is Alfred, and this is Capital City Aquatics. Today we're going to be doing a product review of a food that I've been using to feed my red cherry shrimp over the past month. Something new for me that I've never used before. It is the Hikari Shrimp Cuisine. We'll go over that as well as other foods. So basically it's more of a top 5 list of foods that I would easily recommend for red cherry, well, just Neocaridina shrimps in general, but I've been using it for my red cherry shrimp. So we'll get started with the shrimp cuisine. So this food here, it comes in a granular formula, little pellets, small enough obviously for the shrimp to eat without any complications. Again, this is a food that I've never used before, so it was recommended by viewers and subscribers to try this, so I have. And I've had quite good results with it. The shrimps that I'm keeping right now have colored up very nicely, and they haven't had any issues with their molting. So they're growing quite nicely and breeding as well. I started with just 10 red cherry shrimp in a 10-gallon live planted tank, and without any hesitation, the last time I did a count, I quickly came across 17, and I'm sure there was a number of other hidden shrimp in my Java moss and behind my hardscapes. So definitely they're breeding well. They have nice coloration, and they seem to easily accept the food. I have a picture here of them all basically enjoying the food that I put out for them. I serve it to them in a serving dish that's in the aquarium, and as you can see, they're all enjoying it and pigging out on the food that I am giving them. Now, other foods that you can give them and that I have tried in the past with quite a bit of success is the snowflakes. They seem to, again, easily accept this. I've had no problems with this food for coloration and for the molting and breeding process. Again, they grow quite nicely with this food. So again, snowflakes for feeding your red cherry shrimps or any of your shrimps shouldn't be a big issue. I've never had any problems with it, and overall it's been quite a good balanced food for them. And the one thing I do try and do when I'm feeding my shrimps is I like to give them a variety. I mean, it's the same as us. We don't always want to eat the same thing every day, so I'll give them one day I'll give them the shrimp cuisine, the next day I'll give them snowflakes. I'll also blanch up some vegetables that they like to eat. So I'm fortunate enough where I live. I have people in the area that grow their own zucchinis and their own cucumbers. So I have here zucchini that was given to me by a colleague of mine or a friend of mine. I can blanch those up and feed those to my shrimp, and they go absolutely nuts for that. The same thing with cucumber. One thing I like to do is I'll blanch up a pot of those each, and then I'll freeze them, And then when it comes time to give those to my shrimps, I'll just thaw them out as need be. And then they'll basically devour those. The one thing to keep in mind when you're providing them with the actual zucchinis or the cucumbers is to make sure that, after 15 minutes or so, whatever they haven't eaten, that you remove it from the tank. You don't want it necessarily to sit there too long so that it starts to decay and throw off your water parameters. So just an important thing to keep an eye on. You place it in the tank, you wait till they found it, obviously, and they'll start to eat it. They can smell in the water that it's in there, so they'll definitely go looking for it. And once they have, they'll consume it quite easily. But again, keeping an eye so that it doesn't sit in your tank for too long, and hence therefore throw off your water parameters by slowly decaying in the tank. So again, variety, just like with us, is key. Make sure that you feed your shrimps a healthy, balanced diet. You introduce new foods to them. Keep an eye that whatever foods you put in the tank, they are eating. What they don't, I would suggest removing it after 30 minutes or so, and that way you don't run the risk of that food decaying and causing issues later on with water parameters. Another thing, is the amount of times you should be feeding your cherry shrimps. Typically, I like to feed them early in the morning, and then in the evening after my aquarium lights go off. The shrimps tend to be a little more active for me in the evenings, so they'll definitely be going around the tanks looking for their food. And another thing that makes up a large part of a shrimp's diet is the algae or the biofilm that you would have on your hardscape or on the side of your tank. You'll notice them on the side of the tank acting as a cleanup crew. They'll also eat up any biofilm that you have on driftwood or on your rocks. This tends to make up a large part of their diet. They'll basically graze on algae and biofilm throughout the day. Again, this proves to be beneficial to them, and they help clean up your tank as well, so it's beneficial to you. And again, just keeping an eye that you keep the algae under control. You don't want to have the back of your tank completely covered in algae. The shrimps that you have in your tank can only do so much, but they will definitely keep your algae under control, assuming that it is a small amount. Other than that, and try and throw in some vegetables as well. Again, just making sure that the shrimp are provided with blanched vegetables, that they're properly prepared, and that you keep an eye to ensure that the zucchinis or cucumbers are removed before they spoil. Again, I've asked if you like this type of video to definitely give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.